Look now at the day's top stories around the globe. On Saturday, Africa's most populous country will be heading to the polls. Nigeria's Muhammadu Buhari is running for president again, and he'll be facing off with his opponent, Atiku Abubakar. Between the two, they've run for office 9 times. International observers and civil society groups say they're concerned about political interference and rigging. The trial of former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak will begin. Soon he'll appear before the Kuala Lumpur High Court on charges linked to a multi-billion-dollar scandal at a state fund. The US Justice Department found that $4.5 billion was misappropriated. Razak's accused of illegally receiving about $10 million. He's pleaded not guilty and continues to deny any wrongdoing. Period drama The Favourite dominated the British Academy of Film and Television Arts Awards last night. The film took away 7 wins, including Outstanding British Film, Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress. Black Panther actress Letitia Wright won the Rising Star Award. After President Prince William presented the Fellowship Award to legendary US editor Thelma Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker has won 3 Oscars for The Departed, The Aviator and Raging Bull. So renewed fears of another government shutdown in the US. Today is the deadline for a deal to avoid a funding agreement from running out on Friday. The previous shutdown was the longest in US history and lasted 35 days. For the latest on the stalemate, we're joined by our US correspondent in Washington, Simon Mark. Simon, what's going to happen today?
Can you believe we are going through this all over again, Jane?
Nope.
35 days President Trump shut the government down for. Earlier in the year, 800,000 federal government workers were told to either work without pay or in many cases stay home without pay until that shutdown ended. And it's often difficult to understand, you know, from an international perspective, how is it possible that the government can simply shut down? Well, in this case, this is what happens when this president, Donald Trump, says, unless and until I get the $5.7 billion that I want to build that border wall separating the United States from Mexico that he promised his supporters he was going to build, if you don't give me that money, I am going to shut the government down. Even government departments that have nothing to do with border security, I'm going to dig my heels in and insist that you give me the money or I'll shut the government down. So talks continue. In reality, the talks can go on all the way up until midnight on the 15th of February, when the government officially will close. There does not appear to be much sign of daylight. They thought they were making some progress, the Democrats and the Republicans, last week, but now there is a standoff over a demand by Democrats to limit the number of places in detention centres that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Department here would be allowed to maintain. The Democrats don't want those detention centres being used for a blanket roundup of illegal immigrants. They don't want tens of thousands of people to find themselves in ICE detention. They want to limit the number of beds that are available in the hope that that will then lead the Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents to focus only on the most serious infringements, the most serious allegations of crimes being committed by illegal immigrants, for example. But look, there's no daylight on the issue. The Democrats don't want to give him the money to build the wall. He insists he needs the money. So maybe we're going to witness another government shutdown.
OK, and Simon, can Donald Trump afford this? I mean, he lost quite a bit of support in the last government shutdown when so many people were waiting to get paid. I mean, you know, clearly he doesn't care. He's so desperate for this war.
Well, this is what worries Republicans up on Capitol Hill so much, Jane, because they know that the public didn't back the last shutdown, and there's no reason why they would back another one. So Donald Trump does have another weapon in his arsenal. He could simply say, right, I am going to declare a national emergency down on the border. That would theoretically then allow him to build the wall without congressional approval, provided he can win the inevitable legal challenges that decision would spark. We know that President Trump has considered this. We know that he's taken legal advice on it. Maybe later this week he may actually fire the starting gun on that process in a bid to avoid the political damage that he would be doing himself and his fellow Republicans by allowing another shutdown to take place, but also in a bid to say to his supporters, look, the Democrats aren't going to let me do this. I am determined to deliver on my promise to you, so we're going to go the national emergency route.
Right. Well, as you say, we've no idea how it's going to play out. Simon, thank you. Now, when we return, the hunt to secure one of the most powerful jobs in South Africa. And Ronald Messina is standing by with your latest sport update. Stay with us.